every time we went back home and we started back down that mountain, I think this is heaven. I'm back home, you know. No place like going back home, and Heber Springs is that way to me. I wouldn't take anything from my childhood and growing up in a small town and knowing everyone in town, and back then being able to walk to the river to swim, you know. I played outdoors. I rode stick horses and played with my brother in the woods, and hiking every Saturday. My friends and I hiked, you know, all over the mountains there and the waterfalls. I was 16, just finished my sophomore year, and we were walking to the movies. We had seen him around town, handsome, blonde, tall, slender. He had this new red Ford truck. So we were talking about if he would stop, we could all go get him to take us for a ride in that big truck. So sure enough, he came by and he drove us around town. He had the air horns and we were blowing the air horns. So the next night we're out again, walking down the street, probably been to the movie or something, and we're in front of the courthouse again. But we'd all talked about, if he comes by again, are we going to ask him to ride? So then it got into this big argument of who would sit by him. And he stopped. And when he did, we all just started running for that truck, and I got him first. But that's how I got him. I just outran my other friends. That was the beginning of a long romance of 4 years before we married, and then we were married almost 55 years. My main job was always collecting. I mean, that was the job that I made priority with me. If you're going to pay your people and if you're going to stay in business, you'd better collect your money. And I would come up with every trick in the book. I mean, I would stay awake at night trying to figure out some new something to do. I would call people at home at night. I would wake them up at 5:30 in the morning. I threatened them with drivers, which I did send by. I will say I'm not a tough person, but I was tough in collections. Now, after lunch, one of my jobs was that when we would finish lunch, I would go up in the break room and I would be washing the dishes. And there were times Johnny'd come in and he'd say, "Why are you washing dishes? You need to be collecting money." I said, "Johnny, is there anyone else in the building that wants to wash the dishes? I don't care what the job is, just do it. If it's go scrub the floors, scrub the floors. Just get the job done." And I've tried to tell young people, find out where you want to go to work. Get a job there. Go in and do everything that you see that needs to be done, help someone else with their work or whatever, and you will rise to the top because you will be noticed. Well, when he started all this with Hunt Ventures, what is now Hunt Ventures, my plan was never to be involved. I'd always worked and I didn't plan to work again. And then when he fell and he passed away, I knew immediately that I had to go back to work. That you have all these families depending on you, and you have all this money put into all these ventures, and I knew what my place was going to be. So I didn't stay home and like I wanted to and cover my head. I had to go to work. And thankfully, for my years of working for him when I never wanted to work, prepared me for this time in my life when I was left alone with so much to do, that I knew I could do it. I knew it would be a challenge, but I could do it. This one, he started, and my goal is just to continue and to make this happen as he left it. I tried to carry on as I knew he would want me to, and that's what my goal has been. I was just a little girl that rode stick horses and liked to play outside and made average grades. It just goes to show that anyone can do it. They just have to keep on that path and knowing they can. I just work, as I guess I could say I work with the seat of my pants, but I just try to use common sense. I'm not the most intellectual one in the room, so I just use common sense on things. And I am good at listening to good advice.